Hello again, and thanks for joining. So this is an old Marklin 3-rail model. It's of a class E63 little shunter locomotive. It's quite an old model, but I think it's got a lot of nice little parts on it and also a couple of compromises as well. So we're going to have a look at this in closer detail and I'll point out some of the good and some of the bad. So looking a bit closer up on this model, I think this is probably from a kind of more budget range, or perhaps it came in a train set. I'm not quite sure. I did get this with a whole bunch of other stuff as a job lot, and it didn't come with any box. But what you can notice is that this is a really cute looking shunter locomotive, and there's no getting away from these massive wire handrails all the way around it, and also up and down here where the steps are. It does really define this model. They look pretty overscale, but they do actually look quite cool, and they're very shiny still, even though this is a very old model. The body here is plastic and it's moulded in this dark green colour. It's got an acceptable level of detail on it. You can see the grills at the front, and down the side is some rivet detail. You even get that round the cab as well. There's no flush fit glazing and it is quite opaque. Inside there's just the motor, so there's nothing to see, no interior on this one. These parts down here are all in relief on the plastic, where it's got the number, it's got the word Marklin, so I would have thought this is possibly Deutscher Reichsbahn. I might be wrong in saying that. If you know better, let me know in the comments. But at this time, Marklin used to put their own brand on the side of the locomotives, and there's this symbol down here as well. But they're all picked out in what looks like silver paint, but not very well. I'm not sure if that's been because of previous owners perhaps tried to pick them out in this colour, or whether it came from the factory like this, or even if it's just getting a bit worn out with age, but it's not looking too good there, that's for sure. But overall, this moulding has got a good level of detail, although on the top of the bonnet here, there's not much here and not much here. So down the sides and at the front is where it's all happening. Up on top we have a silver roof which has been painted on. Some of the paint is actually coming away. You can see it all chipped on the side here. And underneath the roof between the two windows we have another number which has been picked out in paint. And there is a headlight up there, but it's just painted silver. And that's also the case on this end of the locomotive. However, you will notice right on the very end that we have light bulbs in these little black parts here. So I'm guessing we do have illumination on this model. This is the number 2 end. You can see that being picked out here in the paint with the number there. And the red buffer beam is just painted on. It's a little bit chipped as well. And we have these buffers which are also made of metal, as is the chassis. These are just screwed in. The coupling sticks out the front here. It's just a metal hook really. And if we look at number 1 end, it's very similar, but we don't have a number on this end. And again, the same kind of hook. It doesn't articulate or anything. It just hangs out the front. Pretty crude. On this side, we have this part of the main moulding picked out in silver, and we also have a black line running the whole length of the locomotive. On the other side, we have a red tank here, but you can see underneath we have another red tank painted at the back here, again a little bit chipped, and there's overspill onto this part, the chassis, which is in black. You can see the mechanism is all metal gear wheels and metal wheels with inserts. And obviously on the real one, the drive comes to this flywheel here and is transmitted with the connecting rods to the 3 wheels. But this is actually just a piece of metal with inserts, and it's just attached to the 2 outer wheels. So it just kind of fakes the connecting rods. And this is something that Marklin did quite a lot to kind of make a cheaper model. Instead of having all the delicate and intricate parts that are needed here, it just put this piece on. Underneath there's the skid. It looks very worn, this one, so I think it's been around for a while. And over here you can see made in Germany. So also on the roof we have this pantograph, which is quite crude. It does actually still operate, and it is a bit kind of weird. And when it comes down, these are a little bit bent, these little parts that hold it down. But, you know, it's still operating after all this time. We've got these extra pieces in the back here, little bits of plastic with metal wire put through them. And here we have a screw to take this model apart, which I think we should do, and we'll check out what's inside. So very easy to take these models apart. It's just one screw and the body lifts off. Underneath you can see there's a screw there where the pantograph is held on, and you can see where all the little pieces of wire are pushed through the body and folded over. I'm still thinking that this is a moulding that's been done in green with the black painted on, and it looks as though black has been painted on the inside here as well. And here is the chassis. It's all made of metal, and yes, we do have lighting, 2 bulbs at the front, and we also have 2 bulbs at the back. It's a pretty standard kind of Marklin motor up here, and we have this part here to switch between forward and backwards. This is the AC controller. So this, yes, it is AC. So this is the little lever that switches between forward and backwards. So I didn't actually notice that when I was looking at it with the body on, but it's at this location. And this lever here is actually moving this cam back and forward, which goes up to this part, which goes up and connects to the overhead pickup. So you can actually run this with overhead electrics, which is quite incredible. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to get this to run or not because I've got a DC controller. I don't have an AC setup, but we'll put some power onto it and we'll see what happens. Well, it looks like everything works, and you can get these to kind of work a little bit on DC. But obviously this is an AC model, so I'm not going to be able to run it on any track at the moment. But let's get the body back on it and we'll put it on the scales and see how much it weighs. So this model weighs 239 grams. So Marklin's little E63 electric shunter. It's quite an interesting model, this one. Obviously it's not up to today's standards, it's a vintage model, and I think this is probably from a budget range, possibly as part of a train set or a starter set, something like that. I think the connecting rods give it away because it's just got that single one piece which revolves around. It's not really an accurate connecting rod setup, but it seems to work okay, and when it's going round you can't really notice the difference, I suppose. It was great that I put the power onto it and it just went straight away, which shows that this is still a working model. Even though the lights didn't work, but I kind of didn't expect that unless it had AC power. The pantograph on the roof is a bit kind of wonky, but it's all made of metal. It's quite delicate, but it still works. And it seems to have overhead pickup as an option as well. The defining feature of this model obviously is the handrails all the way around it. Those little bits of wire are really bright, but they look quite cool actually. And it's certainly something that defines this model as a little bit vintage. It's got that kind of look to it. And I think it would probably still be a strong runner if you had an AC setup. It's something to bear in mind if you're thinking about buying this model. So I do think it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's probably not one of Marklin's best models from this era, but it is maybe a kind of budget model version of a main range version of this E63. So it's possibly not the one to go for if you want to collect this particular model from this particular era from Marklin, but it's certainly got a lot of appeal. But that's just what I think. What do you think of this model? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around. Thanks for checking this out with me. Love to know your thoughts on it. And I'll see you on my next video.
So model train, model worlds, choo choo, model train, tiny in tiny worlds, choo choo, model train, tiny train.